Hi guys, how are we doing? Oh dear, a lot later than I'd planned to do the review, but all I can say is, oh dear. Um, I'm here to talk about obviously the result that happened on Saturday. As I record this, it's a couple of days after, and yeah, oh dear is all I can pretty much say about that. Um, it just at the minute it just isn't good enough, is it? Let's be honest. It ended Bromley 2, Grimsby Town nil, and let me just say this from the very beginning. I remember last season when Bromley first come up, I said um, they would be relegation candidates. Uh, and that was last season, and I was proven wrong then. Uh, can you rule Bromley out to be promotion contenders? Might be a little bit too early to say that yet, but you know, we can't entirely say that's impossible. It's improbable, but it's definitely not impossible. As we look at what the lineup for the team was, David Artell obviously having a couple of injury problems. So much so, former Marner was brought back to the club on a 7-day emergency loan. Jackson Smith was back in goal for the Mariners. A return for Sam Lavelle though as the back four was Harvey Rogers, Sam Lavelle, Doug Tharm, and Cam Janet. George McEachran, Justin Amalazor, Kieran Green, Jamie Walker, Charles Vernon, and Jays Kabia. And obviously some good players including Michael Cheek and Mitch Pinnock and Honda Mack as well. But then I'll get to him shortly as well. But let's look at it from our perspective. You looked at it as though it's going to be a strong team, a strong lineup for this lunchtime kickoff, and first 5 minutes, you would say it was fairly even. Artell said we were sort of on top. No, not really, but I would say it was even. I wouldn't say either side had the advantage, but we know what sort of team Bromley were. We know what a big side Bromley are. The height of Bromley, and what's working for Bromley is they're a good mix. They can definitely play some football, and they can also do the ugly stuff as well. And on 12 minutes, it was proof of what we were talking about when Bromley took the lead. I'll get his name right. Eloe, I think that's the wrong way. Apologies if I've butchered the name. Bromley fans, of course, reacted quickest to the header of Mitchell Pinnock's volleyed cross back across, and Hondermark just was on hand and poked it in for 1-0. Again, sloppy defending by Town, really. You cannot defend like that. And it was sort of like backs to the wall instantly from then. Greeny did have a good chance after that. But it unfortunately when the header went straight at Grant Smith, when really he should have scored. It was, to be fair, an unbelievable miss by Greeny. we picked up a bit after their first goal. Jace Cabier had a great chance, was played through lovely, but Carl Cameron made a beautiful tackle to stop Jace from hitting the target. Half hour gone, but Town after that had a little bit of a spell for about the next 20 minutes or so. I think we were better then, but as the game wore on, we just seemed to collapse. We didn't really make any changes at half time, going in 1-0 down. You're thinking again, even though the half was okay, I never really felt like we were going to score, to be honest with you. And in the second half, a cross put in by Mark Seifel, behind the mark to really just slide in and tap it home for 2-0. I don't know what our defending has been like. I was watching it in absolute disbelief defensively, and it was one of the first times I've watched a game this season. I won't say much else happened, because really after that, Town didn't really do anything after that, to be honest with you. It was all flat. I think the wind was taken out of our sails. We did make subs, but late on, it was really, by the time we'd done that, we were 2-0 down anyway. We brought on Dara Burns. I can't understand why we didn't start Dara, and maybe play Justin against Oldham. And then Danny Rose came on for Sam Lavelle, who had a good game in patches, but only patches. Everyone had good games in patches. Evan Corey, Clark Adore, all within the last 10-15 minutes, including Jude Sunsup Bell. But with about 20 minutes to go, he was making those subs, and you're thinking, we're 2-0 down here. And part of me, I have to admit, mentally switched off. Like I say, it was the first game that I'd watched Town this season where I felt like we are not getting back in this. We are not. The first time I can honestly say, and I listened to Artel's post-match, that's why I caveated to this, because it is almost near enough a carbon copy of what he says. Better team, but we've got to take our chances type thing. If you look at the overall stats, I mean, at the end it ended 2-0. Bromley deserved it. But if you look at the stats again, I mean, you're thinking to yourself, 58% of the ball for Grimsby. Really, after the first 15, 18 minutes, did nothing with it. Really. Only 2 shots on target. Hurrah. You're going to win many games just doing that, aren't you? Touches in the opposition box, 25. They had 17, but they was far more effective. Jackson had to make 4 saves to Bromley's 2. A couple of good chances, but not many. Aerial duels, we won 46 aerial duels to Bromley's 29. 16 fouls committed on our end to 10 for Bromley. 7 corners to their 2. And if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm sick of the stats because apart from the shots on target, pretty much all the stats go in Town's favour. And I think that at the minute is what Artel's clinging to, is that the performance levels, as he puts it, aren't dropping. And again, I don't want to come onto here and start, I'm not Artel out yet. But if he thinks that, I feel like we're all so data driven. We had more of the ball, meant nothing. We had more touches in the opposition box. We had more, doesn't matter. The only stat that matters is the scoreline. And the scoreline proves that Bromley were the better team. Bromley are a better team right now. People will say we're a better squad than last year. We were at the start of the season. I don't know what's going on at the minute. That's no win in 8 league games for the Mariners. That equates to 5 losses and 3 draws in the last 8 games. 3 points out of 24 we have picked up. And we've gone from playoff contenders. Our form at the minute would see us in the bottom 5. I don't know what's gone wrong at the minute with the lads. I think we've got to give Artel time. I'm not going to jump down at him at the minute because I think it's but he does have to come up with some answers, him and the players, because this is a drastic drop off. I was talking to somebody yesterday coming away from a night out, and he said, "Where's the team that beat Man United gone? Where's the team that beat Gillingham? Where's that team gone?" I like to see the fact that we've got Jackson back temporarily, but I'd like to know why he doesn't trust Charlie Casper. I don't get the loan then. I really don't get the loan, and I understand why. Why not just send sort of Casper back? Bring Jackson Smith in for the season if Christy Pym is injured. It looks like it could be a little while again. It might only be that game. It might be over Christmas that we don't see Christy Pym. Martel did mention that I think he's going for a scan, or he's gone for a scan. He's going to go for a scan, or he has. I can't quite exactly remember what he said, but so it could be more. Who knows? I don't expect to see him Boxing Day. So I think Jackson will be here for Boxing Day. Whether we won't be for that, but I think, why not ask Barnes if he can loan him for the rest of the season, and especially if Pym's going to be out for a period of time. And I would turn around and say, well, bring Seb Orton back then. Send Charlie Casper back, because that to me also proves that Artel does not trust Charlie Casper, unless the terms of the loan was a work experience loan, which I can't see it being that way, because the only games he's played in his trophy game And I think 45 minutes after, or 25 minutes or so, 45 minutes, when Pym got injured the first time. And then we brought Richard O'Donnell in. And now we brought Jackson back. Why not just sign Jackson on a loan until the end of the season from Barnsley? Because he's obviously not getting in at Barnsley. So I'm sure if we had to, even if Christie came back, you know, but if not, I would send Charlie Casper back. Why? Because we're not playing him. When Christie's injured, we're not playing the number 2 goalkeeper. So that proves to me he does not trust the number 2 goalkeeper. So what is the point in having him there? And that's in defence of Charlie Casper. Actually, it's a wasted of a loan. You've got Neo Eccleston, who isn't playing either. You've wasted a loan there as well. Now, people will say that he sees them, and you're absolutely right, but some of them, they're not even making benches, is what I'm saying. So he obviously doesn't fancy either of them. But both times when Christie Pym's been injured this season, we've had to go and get an emergency loan goalkeeper. We never did that in very often in previous years. So, you know, you do have to question Artel's recruitment to a certain degree. If you can't trust the young lad that you bought in on loan, and you have to go and get a second emergency goalkeeper, you've got to look at Town's recruitment in that area. Because if you just want to go with one goalie and then Christie Pym gets injured and could be out a while, I would say go and ask Barnsley to see if Jackson can be available for the season, even if Christie comes back. Because this is a kind of situation where I think Town need 2 first-team goalkeepers, because the second goalkeeper ain't getting a chance. We don't know what the meaning of the loan is, but I kind of felt sorry for Charlie Casper. Pleased in a lot of ways to see Jackson back, but you don't know how long for. But why not ask Barnsley the question, can we loan Jackson for the rest of the season? You know, it would make, you know, a lot of sense. And even if Christie does come back, Christie's going to come straight back in. So I don't understand what Charlie's loan was about. You know, the reason why you have 2 goalkeepers, and this is a criticism of Artel that I have got, you've got 2 goalkeepers, you've got a number 1, so what is the young lad? Is he just there making numbers up? That's poor recruitment then. If that's all he's there for, then you've recruited poor in the goalkeeping department. I don't want to say we've recruited poor player-wise, but there is definitely a lack of confidence going through the side right now. And, you know, like I said, it was the first time I watched a Grimsby game, and literally I was on my phone for the last half hour. I was watching it, but I was on my phone for the last half hour because I knew Town weren't getting that back. Bromley were just too good. And Artel said in his post-match that Town need to find solutions. Well, find them and quick. Do you know something? I would rather have us have 17% of the ball, have one header and it goes in. This is what I find funny, and I've said this a couple of times, and I get but you know, having a couple of days to really think about this before I did this review, is fans want attacking football and then expect us to be able to defend. Basically, it's like they want Artel's attacking and Paul Hurst defending. You're not going to get that. You know, and a couple of people that I know, a couple of friends of mine are saying, has he only got the Christmas games? The next two? I think he's got a bit more than that. But, you know, no wins in 8 games. That can't go unnoticed. And I'm sure for the club and for Artel, that doesn't go unnoticed. You know, another crowd of sell-out crowd. That is such a hard place to get to, Bromley, and for a 12:30 kickoff, and they deliver us that. Now, everyone criticised previous managers on substitutions, and that is of them. Artel did the same. He made his first sub after we went 2-0 down. He decided to try and go, in the end, 2 up top. Then went 3. And it's like, I'm just fed up of the interviews, which at the minute you can copy and paste them. Artel says that we're going in the right direction. What? So we've gone from, since, let me tell you something, and this is unbelievable. Let me get the and this is us apparently. Yeah, the play's fine. I'm not going to say that we're not playing okay, but numbers that just showed mean absolutely nothing. You know, if we were to look at this, when we beat Gillingham, which was our last win, everybody, our last win was against Gillingham, and I think that came in November, if I remember correctly. No, it came in October. I apologise, I've gone completely wrong. We have not now won a game in the league since October the 18th. That is 2 months. That is 8 games, like I said, 5 losses and 3 draws. But we're going in the right direction. I don't want to say right now we're in the wrong direction, but when we beat Gillingham on the 18th of October, when we beat Gillingham, we were 3rd at the end of Gillingham. We've dropped 12 places since. And that's the right direction. Oh, do I hope Artel is right. Because they need answers, and they need them over the Christmas period. And the pressure is, he's got 2 teams. One he couldn't beat away, and Oldham we haven't played yet. They're the king of the draws this season, Oldham. But I think his next 4 games, Oldham, Shrewsbury, Fleetwood and Cambridge, I think they're really big games for Grimsby as a whole. I think he needs to win 2 of them at least. He needs to be unbeaten in those. I don't think he can afford to lose any of those. I really don't. I think if he loses a couple of those, I think he could become in trouble even going into the window. But that's what they mean by drop off. You know, 24 points we were when we beat Gillingham. We picked up 3 points since. And that's what I mean by the 5 losses and 3 draws. Equates to that. You know, and he can say, well, you know, we're unlucky against Tranmere. And he says, but he doesn't like talking about luck. Yeah. He doesn't like talking about luck because at the minute, we haven't got any. And like I said, we might have most of the ball. We might have most of the chances. But Shrewsbury scored with 1 chance. We're making Notts County 1-2-0. But we played alright apparently. Swindon, we went 2-0 up and we went up against Swindon. We got a point out of it, which at the time looked a decent point. You know, 3rd on October the 18th, come middle of December, heading into Christmas, we're 15th. Yeah, that's not in the right direction. Oldham, who we play next, are above us. But we're in the right direction. We're going in the right direction. No, we're not. You can't say being 3rd on the 18th of October and being 15th, middle of December, makes us go in the right direction. And actually, I'm going to use this. If we were the better team, why haven't we won more games then? The better teams win we were at the start of the season, you know, like I said, we won at Salford, we won at MK Dons, we won at Walsall. We're now lower half of the table. Yes, it's close, but there is now starting to be a slow gap, starting to build. He needs to stop the slide. He needs to stop it now, really. He can't really afford to lose any of these next 4 games. Not for his job, but I think for stability. I know there's a lot of fans that still believe in him. And I'm one of these people that I'm just calling out the fact that if he thinks that I've said this the last couple of reviews, it's no good now saying we played well, but that won't wash much more. I think because of the start that he had, and he got us that win over Man United in the Carabao Cup, and like I said, up until the middle of October, we were 3rd. You know, maybe fans got ahead of themselves. I don't think I got ahead of myself, but I was a bit more like, hello, he's really turned us into something. But I wouldn't have expected no wins in 8. I wouldn't have expected to lose 5 out of our last 8 games. Knowing that the team that we're playing on Boxing Day is actually officially above us by a goal. By 1 goal in the goal difference. But according to Artell, we're in the right direction. And he used the line about when he first came in and we were... he said we weren't going to go down. Well, where are we going to be then, David? Where are we going to be come May? It's very hard to not be frustrated even for me, but that is the first time I disengaged from a game this season. I completely knew Town were not getting back into this. I know this has been a ranty video, I get that, but I've also tried to keep sort of as calm as I can. results need to change. I'm gonna be blunt. I think he has to go unbeaten in the next 4. I really do, because I think if he loses a couple of the next 4 games, will the fans stay with him? I don't know. I'm trying to look at it in context. Are we playing that bad? No. But does that mean much? You know, you look at our position in October and you look at our position now. Right, this is how it's looking. We are now as close, almost as close to the bottom 2 as we are the top 7. There's 2 points difference. We're 8 points from the playoff places. We're 10 points from the relegation places. I don't think I'm concerned about relegation or anything like that, but we're actually closer to the relegation places than we are the playoff places. Well, no. Sorry, apologies. We're closer to the playoff places. But goal difference has been et into. Because we're not winning games. We've gone from having a plus 10 goal difference there enough to now only a plus 3. You know, Cheltenham have really improved their season. Accrington are probably surprising a few people this season. But I'm going to stop this rant now. But let me know, guys, what you think. Apologies for the lateness of the video. I never intended for it to go as long as this, but I also felt like everyone needed to know my honest thoughts. Artel still believes we're going in the right direction. Results aren't proving that. Performances not really proving that either. But we'll see. We'll see what the Christmas period brings to us, really. I think he needs a good festive period. He really does. Just to stabilise everything. You know. And how did any of you guys see it from the ground? Because what I saw from TV, it's okay playing football and have most of the ball, but it's a results business. And Artel knows this. He's not a stupid man. You know, he knows that results in the last 2 months have been far from good enough. But you can tell he's pressurised because he was bringing up, as I say, his form when they first came in. And what we were like then. He's feeling it a little bit. I'm sure he is. But you guys let me know what you think. Well done to anybody that went down to Bromley. That obviously was not an easy trip to do for a 12:30 kickoff. I know a lot of people that left at 4:30 in the morning to get down for that game. But just, you know, we've got to keep the faith, and hopefully we do. Leave me your thoughts down below. Apologies for the video being a lot later than planned. I will be doing a preview for Oldham in a couple of days' time. It'll be on the 23rd. So it'll be probably before any interview with Artel, but it's to get it in so we can all have a good Christmas and take our mind off for a couple of days before we head down to Mundell Park to play Oldham. So that's coming around about the 23rd will be the preview for Oldham. So let me know your thoughts down below on the Bromley game. Well, I haven't ranted like this for a while, but I felt like it was a calmer RANT. Not gone all in, but I think, results have to improve. Leave your comments down below, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for listening to me ramble, and I will see you guys in the Oldham preview very soon. In the meantime, guys, up the manners. We've got to keep the faith, and let's hope that the Christmas period brings, more cheer than the last 2 months has brought us. I'll see you guys in the next one. Ta-ra for now. Bye-bye.